So recording started. So and after the let's say this period, what I wanted to say is just about the descriptive concept of usability of DHT.
Mhm.
So as I was explaining before, the recognition mechanism is for now it's more or less known, and now I'm working on the creation of the tests on publishing the Realm 3. Because the
Okay.
realm tree is actually it's as it is described in the document we have, and probably that's also in the DHT. Every participant should download from it the realm tree. Then to resolve the PID, he calculates the hash and use this hash as the key in the DHT. And
Mm.
this hash is the, let's say, the cell in the realm. And in this realm, let's say any of the owners of this part of the realm, the agents, publish the actual state of the Git repository representing the record. This is a descriptive context. So the only thing that should be shared, let's say, with immutability between the participants is the state of the realm tree.
Okay. And any variation on the Git repository will create a new hash.
Yes, of course, like it is
So you
done
have.
now. Yeah, like it is done now in the Git IPFS bridge.
Mhm.
So the main idea is taken from there. And let's say once you have a new hash, so it's not actually implemented as a blockchain, but it's from outside it could be considered acting like a blockchain. So you cannot remove any data from this repository. You should always add.
And how do you link with an already established persistent identifier like ORCID, DOI, or ARC?
As it is within the realm, so the realm calculates the hash. Realm is a prefix, as it is written in our document about concepts and definitions.
Mhm.
And then it's split it into the tree and stored. Actually, the tree is, let's say, it could be considered as the JSON file with the hash, which is explicitly shared between all the participants. And any change in this file is actually documented by the public key. So it's, let's say, the highest level Git repository in the terms of IRO of or IPFS.
So it's either who will decide if it's IRO or IPFS. We will decide the when release, or each realm can have the repository in either.
Every cell in the realm is a Git repository. So
Yeah.
it is under the responsibility of the participant of the agent. So the main invariant entity we have here is the private key of the participant.
Okay. And to be able to connect with the network, one should be running an instance of IRO or IPFS in the local.
I think only IRO, because
IRO.
the backend should be as lightweight as it should be possible, and also because the part of the program should be written obviously in C++, then I don't think we will need the local node. So the most lightweight implementation could have just the HTTP gateway.
Okay. So it will be like something you can download, an application for Windows or Linux
Yeah,
but you will be running an Iron instance.
yeah. So it could be run anywhere. And also
And
there is, yeah.
how many seeders you need for the network to be healthy, let's say?
Let's say for the realms, every seeder actually contains all the copy of realm 3 because
Yeah,
it's
but
highly.
the health of the network will require a minimum of how many seeders?
Let's say for now, my estimation is about 24.
Okay.
24 seeders is enough. So, but I did it using just the bootstrapping estimation, using the nodes run by Moritz because I perform a lot of tests on DHT.
And the messaging between the realms is already, in theory, working.
Yes, because once you are reserving the key in the DHT,
Mhm.
it is a 128-bit identifier. You can put on it any link or any data you want.
And the protocol is
The protocol is actually it's a plain text and some wrappers for the internal built-in data types of a C++ 17. So it's actually a message pack. You can
okay.
serialize any message and encrypt it.
I don't know if I share with you this. I don't think I don't know if it's approved already, but have you seen this
Yes, I
Open
can see. Sorry.
PGP? Have you seen this Open PGP?
Persistent symmetric keys. Yes, I can see it. And but it is for the symmetric keys.
Okay.
Symmetric keys. So the thing is, let me see. New algorithm open PGP, persistent symmetric keys, authenticated encryption with additional data. Uh, for the symmetric cryptography, we have an overhead here. Because once you have an asymmetric cryptography, you can share the public key to anyone. With the symmetric cryptography, you should share only between the recognized agents. It is useful.
Okay.
It could be used within the DHT, but it's, let's say, an external mechanism. Within the OpenDHT project, it's already implemented the RSA key. It's asymmetric, but it contains, let's say, out of the box, it contains the encrypted messages between the participants. So if the participant knows the key, so it calculates the key from the persistent identifier, it knows from where it could download the encrypted data.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this could help us if it's a trusted within the realm to access not only the metadata but the data.
Yes. And this is intended to be because the actual link should be shared only by the encrypted channel and only for the, let's say, the if it is needed,
Trusted.
yeah, trusted link, and it should be in need to be logged in some cases. For example, once you are sharing the data using the realms like OpenARE, then your access should be logged, and then it should be somehow encrypted and signed by your public key. Yeah, the thing is, let's say the public key itself, still it's, let's say the Achilles heel, but using the scheme like it is done in the cryptocurrency, it's more or less feasible. Because I tried and I have done by my own, preparing the mnemonic module from Python.
But then you have to have a wallet.
Yes, so it's not a cryptocurrency wallet. So you should just have a set of passphrases.
Okay.
Yeah, and it allows you somehow to encrypt and to store your private key if you don't want to delegate it.
But we can have this open key chain, no?
Yes,
The
yes, as
where
we
you like when you log to a server.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's it should be just let's say once the private key is uploaded to your client, then there is no actually no obstacle to generate a private token. So the
Yeah,
token could be generated from any kind of a keys. So the only requirement for using it's to be invariant because any token could be generated by anyone. And the only thing the participant needs to ensure that he is recognized in the network is to publish the recognition record.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This is about the conceptual work. I am very sorry, but I was not able to do more because resolving of the last issue I have, it required a lot of efforts.
yeah, yeah. No problem, no problem. I
Yeah.
think we are okay. Um,
Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping to present something in Kafoskari.
okay.
Yeah,
So I was actually invited to present for September. Um, that is, it came from this Coara meeting about the ethical research. But I will be presenting the idea that we are mm, pushing now, that is to create a Latin America network of persistent identifiers. So the network will be in still is the idea is ARC instances.
yeah,
I mean, to use ARC and then to connect with the with this decentralized DHT to connect them all the ARC instances together, so we
yeah.
can have services like impact factor or citation or to
Like Crossref, but using DHT.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
and to link data with the or data and patents with the articles, so to interlink work and even org IDs with the authors with the research as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It could
So
be really
so
great.
we want to make it for Latin America and to have like a simultaneous installation, so we can have an impact. Uh,
Yeah, and also it could be, let's say, the gateway to the realms.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the idea.
yeah. It is the idea. Yeah, so once I would be able to create the test, then it will be a time to bootstrap all the project.
Yeah, we want to present it. We are okay. We are looking for aiming to get the finance.
Yeah.
But if we don't get the funding, still we already push people to go ahead.
Oh yeah. And also I should say that I have an occasional meeting with because I'm living in Trieste and here it was the a presentation by now she's very well known the politologist Asmam Khalla, who wrote
Mhm.
the book about the technocracy and about the tech in big tech in geopolitics. And I have a short conversation with her about the, let's say, how the data owners are now behaving. So maybe it would be possible to make her interested in the
Okay, yes.
ideas. Yeah. So she's working in Sciences Po in Paris. So today we'll try to write to her a message just after our conversation.
Okay. We are working actually in a, we call it the project like a white book of persistent identifiers.
Why?
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we want to have three like points of view. One is like historic, how
Yeah.
the persistent identifiers developed and how this centralized infrastructure is being pushed. And the other one is to have like a structure and how to say like uh, categories of analysis, like, to analyze with different categories, different persistent identifiers. I mean, if they
Yeah.
are global, if they are centralized, decentralized, in structure, in financial, in different, because there are many persistent identifiers, but the DOI is kind of overshadowing everything.
Yes.
So we want to demonstrate that there are others there, and to have the different uh, this taxonomy so we can analyze the systemic approach. And the last part will be future of persistent identifiers and the idea of the pushing for the Fediverse of persistent identifiers.
Yeah.
Uh,
To be honest, when I was reading about the Fediverse, I consider that this idea, not let's say the network itself, because for now it's quite not centralized. It's not still centralized, but
mhm.
it still seems vulnerable to the clustering.
But let's say if we can establish a protocol where not only within the realms of a DHT, but
Yeah,
even outside that, if that if there are changes on a given persistent identifier or a new persistent identifier is created to notice the the network,
yeah,
uh, I think it's I don't know, but we can think about like how will a Fediverse of persistent identifying work. I think the easiest way is to make it within the net trusted network of who are
recognized
already
nodes.
yes,
Let's say recognized agents.
yes, but even if it's how to say, if we are talking only about
Yeah,
metadata, even you can make it how to say, not not vulnerable, but with the wicked link.
okay. Let's say rotten links.
Like if you have a like a Fediverse where just the notification is there, uh, it doesn't matter if because you are only notifying the metadata.
Yeah,
So if there is any, let's say, a given persistent identifier where you already know for example, if it's an ARC instance, that ARC instance has a, a NaN already, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if within that NaN, some new some new key is created to be notified. And DOI also has already this, T 10.3, this DOI already has some
Yeah.
the shoulder of the persistent identifier. So if you load everything else in all those structures of persistent identifiers, trust you know the node because they are linked to an entity that has responsibility about them. So if a new key is created to be published to the whole network of
Yeah.
Fediverse,
Yeah.
this could work, but just the metadata, not to
Not
access the
not the
data.
actual data.
Yeah, but
Well,
something is to be created later on when we established already, because now DOI is overshadowing everything, and then everything is relegated in a relation of like complementary of subsidiary to the DOI. I mean, you have orc ID and you have a different persistent identifier, and they are all falling under DOI. Even the PID is falling under. They push the agenda,
yeah,
and now the DPID is also like a complementary instance of DOI.
of the OI. Exactly.
So what we have to establish that a parallel that is not it's not a subsidiary of DOI, like it's not complementary to DOI. Persistent identifiers like ARC that can live together with the for the scientific community, and if we want to be really open and follow the Barcelona Declaration that established the importance of persistent identifiers, then DOI should give a space for others to grow.
Yes, and this is actually this is why when we were starting, it was a lot of discussion about the prefix mechanism. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Yeah, and the thing is actually this is let's say it's only my opinion. It's what the Git does for us because it contains the hash table for all the local tree and the remote tree. And
yeah,
as it is, yeah, and as it is somehow locally persistent, then it will be more or less, let's say, remote available. Not persistent, but available. And sharing when you are publishing the key, if you are able to resolve the realm, then should be able to resolve the remote tree. At least the let's say the list of hashes, as it is done in the local directory of Git.
yeah.
To be honest, in let's say in my wish, using the entire remote Git repository will be the best because it contains all the commits.
Yeah, something was proposed last year, no, with the publishing through Git, and not using a persistent identifier, just the Git as a identifier.
Yes, because it's already done in Radical, and
Yeah,
it's also it was done by my pet project, the Git IPFS bridge.
yeah,
And also it was done by one of the project that shares the data using just the commits. But the thing is the commits may have collisions, while the persistent identifiers should not be able to do.
yeah. But in Git also you have a structure that depends. For example, GitHub is Microsoft. GitLab.
Uh, yes, but they are actually maintaining the server infrastructure to maintain the Git server, so it uses the Git as a server. In our case, we cannot do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can use the sharing backend, but it should be independent from the server. I don't know if you have once noticed, but once you are doing the program that helps Git to send the data somewhere, it's completely independent from itself, from the Git itself.
Yeah.
So also Radical, because Radical publishes actually in the actually publishes on the hashes.
Yeah.
But it still uses the, let's say, so-called bare metal Git repository as a server. And this is why, let's say, Radical is, let's say, it allows you to publish something decentralized, but it still requires you to stay connected forever,
If you decide to be
to be
um
really open, let's say.
yeah, if you decide to have your computer as a server, but you
Yeah.
can also be part of the network and just pushing without the being a server in the Radical.
Yes, but in this case, you should delegate to someone the
Yeah.
actual persistence of your data.
Yeah.
So at
But
least, yeah,
if we are talking about universities,
yeah.
this could be established. I mean, universities, they have their own servers
Yeah, yeah. For this, I have no, let's say, absolutely no doubts about this. If we will hear
because
from,
the diamond open access and it relies on the servers of the universities. And if the network is if it is waved together, the for example, let's say the public university system in Argentina. There are 27 universities with their own servers, and they are maintained by their own personnel. And if then that network sustains a persistent identifier system, is quite strong and reliable.
yeah, yeah. So for at least for first time, we can rely on them as, let's say, the running points for DHT. This is for sure.
The, yeah, the thing is, we have to also is like in the background there is a cultural how to say discussion that we have to do, because it's the cultural warfare for so we don't think that decentralized and community run is the equal to uh, unsustainable, because now we are so um, formatted by these big companies and big techs that we feel is if it's not under the Amazon web service or big companies, then it will collapse eventually. And actually the other way around is most likely. The other way is most likely that, like we have it happens last year. They have these blue screens in every airport.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember this.
So the size of the big techs does not make them more sustainable.
Yeah, and let's say this is, let's say, also the it's not a big problem in my opinion, but there is a problem that storing the private key, for example, using these mnemonics or something like that, it's let's say the entrance key for the network, and let's say the level of the delegation. So this is the main question here is about how the people may favor the decentralized technology in, let's say, in favor of delegating their rights to store and to maintain the private keys.
Yeah.
Because this is actually what the big techs, let's say, despite they are providing some infrastructure, are doing. Once you are delegating the maintenance of your private key, then you are delegating your private key.
I don't know how it's in Europe, but in Latin America, there are many central national services running AWS.
You mean,
Uh, uh,
yeah, you mean the object storage servers?
yeah, in Amazon Web Services,
Yes, yes, exactly.
but the national documentation and services that are that the whole state is dependent on. The government functions are being delegated in the Amazon cloud.
Exactly.
So you are losing sovereignty.
Oh, well, it's let's say it's quite a bit of overkill to say that you are losing the sovereignty, but let's say imagine that Amazon loses a data center, it would be quite catastrophic.
Yeah, but they also Amazon is not an entity besides the rules and regulation of a given nation. Let's say the
Yeah.
USA government.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So in the last instance, they are forced and they are ruled by the US government. So let's say if there is a war declaration with the Argentine and the US government, they could fetch the information or use the information
Yeah.
on the servers.
Yeah. And
And
actually,
it's not a small piece of information. And with the big data, the artificial intelligence agents and the capacity to process big data, then you are in complete weak position.
yeah. And once you don't use the edge, let's say so-called edge computing solutions in a proper way, then you are not even vulnerable. It's just, let's say, guaranteed.
Other thing that could happen is that they block your access to those services.
Oh, yeah. Which is about this, I think
Most
everyone knows.
likely, yeah,
Yeah.
most likely to happen. Like you are declared like Cuba or Iran, you are declared enemy of the state, and the
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
just
exactly. This is what, for example, me, I may say that I already experienced this because of most of the resources of the state control resources from Russia, they are still actually keeping their data in the servers hosted by Amazon. But
still.
still, but for example, if you are like me, living, for example, in a European country and you are carrying a Russian passport, but you have no access to the state services of Russian government because it's just blocked from one side, and it could be also even if you would acquire the actual access, it could be also blocked by the American point, from the American point. So you may say see the web interface, but you don't see the data.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a pretty much and pretty good understanding of the problem you have explained, and it's literally a good point. And here, the only question I have is why the people are not, let's say, willing to store somewhere else. I don't think it's just an easy API or something like that. I think it's
No,
just, yeah,
they feel it's weaker and less because the cloud server makes you feel like they has no like this it's like the godlike realm.
Oh
they,
yeah,
they 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 created the idea that is something uh
very big and very safe. So it's an illusion
yes,
of preservation.
yes, and they people had the illusion that they have a huge safe places where the things are stored, and they see the server at the university and they feel is weak in comparison with the what the for example, no,
Yeah, yeah.
what those other services could be doing. And it's not like that, because if you interweave the network of servers of a given country and all the universities working together as a whole, you have a stronger situation.
Yes, because at least all of the university's edge servers are interconnected with each other.
Yeah,
And yeah, I have quite a big experience with this because running the IPFS servers, it's obvious.
yeah. So if you had to convince, it's actually is the most important part is to convince to make all those potential all those servers to work together and to have for example, the persistent identifiers uh, run there. So if you say 24 seeders are necessary to have a strong network, with
Yeah,
one country establishing with the universities already, you will have it.
yeah, yeah. And let's say at least for a significant time, it would be more or less reliable.
Yeah,
Because, for example, now I could not, let's say it's most useful, but I couldn't see and say that for example, Google Documents are persistent enough, even for us.
nothing in the digital world is
Yeah,
nothing has the persistent guarantee.
yeah. Well, nothing would be persistent forever, but let's say once you are relying on a commercial company, then it is actually is subject to be deleted as one point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and actually, this is what I was keeping in mind when suggesting using the DHT. Because working for years with the BitTorrent network, it was actually actually always for good because once you are having the hash, then you would have the actual identifier. And also, there is a very interesting side effect, which as we would be interested in, the reserved fields. Because, for example, if we need some instrumentation, and I was thinking about it when trying to create the tests, and you know that the hash function is quite, let's say, random like from outside. So seeing
Yeah.
the long strings of symbols, but there is an edge effect because it's in this 180 and 28 identifiers, you always have the edge when one of the part of a field is just zerofied or
Mhm.
identified with ones or something like that. And these are the fields which are almost never used.
And can be used for what purpose?
For example, if you want to store the entire realm tree, you can use these fields.
Okay.
It requires some investigation. To be honest, I didn't have a time to do it properly, but in the future, I would like to do because if we would be able to store the entire realm tree in the DHT, then it could be as persistent as we have only one participant. So the persistence of the blockchain without actual implementation of the blockchain, which actually it's quite It's quite useful.
Okay, but that will be for the realm, not for the network.
For the realm, yes, for example, but for sure, once the network is alive, then every participant should always have the actual realm tree. So it's, let's say, the most dynamic part of the network. Once then it's natural to store it in the DHT.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say it requires a bit of investigation. The problem is quite complicated. So I would like maybe I will send a message to Jonas about the news from their development team. Maybe they would be interested. If they would be, it would be really an excellent opportunity for us.
Yeah. Well, if we get the funding, also we could.
Oh yeah, well, having the funding will solve a lot of problems for sure, and in the,
Yeah.
let's say, in the first second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even for now, it's let's say nothing to lose if we would have some interested programming besides me.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And when do you think uh, some beta pilot that could be available to install? And
I think by the end of this year.
okay.
So yeah, so the realistic point is this, because after this incident, I don't think I would have a lot of time to develop. Besides, I would have some spare time, maybe, but I cannot for this. I just cannot
No,
promise
no,
right now.
it's okay to plan with realistic times.
Yeah, so by the end of this year, I would be able to develop something, I think, by the beginning of September, because at this time the synchrotron will be stopped for reconstruction, and we should complete all the let's say burning tasks of last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my estimation, and yeah.
And before presenting to the programming community, you want to have it test and running?
Yes. Yes, for
Okay.
sure. At least, well, let's say, I think we would be available enough having just, let's say, two servers, one by Moritz and one by me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Then if it works, then we can give a round, because now we are selling the idea. We are like
yes,
presenting the
yeah,
idea
and
and the ideation.
yeah, because for now it doesn't make me happy, to be honest.
Okay. So then the second phase, if we have by the end of the year the model running into servers and communicating correctly, then we can present to the programming community and widen
Let's say
the
establish a widespreading idea.
yeah, and then they make hackathons and people who could also add their code
Oh
to
yeah,
that base.
yes. This is yeah, and of course there is still a task which is was established now exactly for me by Adrien Béraud, the lead developer of the OpenDHT,
Mhm.
to split my pull request, because it's quite huge, to split it in the separate ones. I will do it probably next well, this Friday.
And about documentation, how are we? Is this something we should take some commitment to work on it, or you want to first have some it work
I think for me it will be better just to have a test, and once it one just one test will be communicating properly, then I would describe it.
okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, let's say downwelling programming, for now I don't see it is possible, because I just, let's say, I don't have enough resources to do. Yeah, it's and this time, to be honest, to me it's quite hard. I will not leave this, but the time is quite hard. I think it's until September it will be.
No, no problem, no problem. Uh, we are okay with what with the people we are and the goals we set. It's okay. We are okay.
Yeah.
We cannot
So,
rush because we don't have the resources to rush.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. To me now it's becoming a problem sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Let's say. Let's see how it will be. I am really hoping for Cafo's career because I have an inspiration that we will see a lot of people.
Okay, good.
Yeah. About your presentation in CERN. So will you go or will you do remotely?
No, I cannot go if because CERN. What time of the year is
Let me see on the Mattermost. Conferences. It is open science, so it is October.
October?
Yeah.
Because the invitation I got, they didn't confirm if they will pay my uh, if they will, it was just an invitation or also if they will pay my traveling expenditures, but it's for September.
Mm, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, and
and
it is for in September. It's CSV
yeah,
in Bologna.
but they didn't confirm.
Okay, so let's hope that they will confirm. In case
This is the 22nd of September in Ljubljana
22nd of September in Ljubljana. No, no, no.
in Slovenia.
Yes, in Slovenia. Uh,
I don't know if I can
could you please
combine it.
share again on the chat the link to the exact call of participants, just to recall.
No, this one is another one that they will send to me yesterday.
Okay, okay, sorry, I didn't understand well.
No, no, this is the networking. Let me see. It's European Congress on Research Integrity.
Okay, okay, then we didn't publish it anywhere.
No, no, I got the invitation yesterday. And I asked them if the invitation included some kind of travel assistance, like some aid to or some funding for me to be able to travel. If if it does, then I will be able to cross the Atlantic, and then maybe can combine with some other uh,
Some other
meetings.
conference.
Yes. If
Oh
not,
yeah,
we will just present by Zoom. Yeah.
yeah. Because for example, if you would be able to participate in CSV, I would be glad to pass by Bologna because for me it's anyhow possible.
Yeah. The problem with CSV is I don't think they like us.
I Let's see, let's see.
But it's good. It's good if we can make some noise.
Yeah, of course, as we discussed a lot of times before.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, for now, from my side, that's all because I didn't have too much time, and I didn't hear anything from Eric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe I will try to buzz him a bit.
Uh, yeah, but I think he's still with this. he went back with the DCI.
No,
DCI?
no,
No.
no, no. He's working now for a different company, as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and this idea of a hackathon was not shared by this company, so it's let's say currently from a side, and it's not from the Sci Labs.
Okay. But we are participating there? No.
No, no, I don't think so because at least for me, it's very unlikely that I will have a time.
Yeah. And like we said, we will open to the programming community after we have the test
At
running.
least a working test.
Yeah. So we don't need to rush.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We are
yeah.
we're okay. Let's see.
Let's see.
Uh I will meet with John Kunze. I think this week we have meeting.
Perfect.
Uh, so I will keep him up to date with our work. I think he's also a good ally.
Yeah, at least
So
at least having him as an ally, it would be really well.
yes, because if, like we said, and that is where the DCI approach, I don't think was productive. Is like if we are gonna create a Fediverse or like a diverse universe of persistent identifiers uh, working together, you should not work on a tool that like okay, forget DOI now the
Now use
decentralized
ours. Yeah,
yes, but with the same logic of mm,
of access.
yeah on of monopoly, like okay, the conversation, this is the tool where the whole conversation should be going through.
Exactly, exactly. As
uh
and as they are using the monetized model, the monetary model, then it always be like that.
yeah, so I think it's the idea of the ARC community is most more like-minded, like our idea to have
Yeah,
diversity and to try to work together.
I see this because let's say Arc, let's say in my opinion, it's one of the most federated ones we have right now. Let's
Yeah,
say from the established point, because the second is the digital heritage, but it's quite, let's say, as it is very niche and
yeah,
not so many people are linking to it, then it would be quite, let's say, clusterized.
yeah. And the only thing with Dark is that the metadata is not the strong point. Like you can have these services like Crossref, but if we can how to say complement where they are falling short, then we have a good strong system.
Yeah, yeah. About this, yeah, I was actually I'm trying to remember, but I was not able to have a really good look at the Arc API because it's for now for my brain it's a bit too much.
Yeah, I can show you this.
Please.
I will just share with you. You know, this the whole documentation, and is even you can track it on in time. Uh, is here.
IATF, yes, yes,
So they you can see the evolution on, and even he put that request this month. John
yes.
Kunze.
Yes, so I will now put this link on the highlights, so it would be available because it's quite a really a good point to see the evolution.
You see, then you can see the anatomy, how they are presenting. This also will inspire us to have an idea
Yeah,
on the,
to be honest, I was reading something like that while I was trying to define this scheme with the splitted hash strings to share between the branches of the realm tree.
yeah.
Yeah, so it looks quite, let's say, let's say natural.
Yeah, so if, I think this documentation will help us.
Yeah, yeah. It was written or written by John, I see.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah. So
yeah, yeah,
it's and it is the last update. So we are quite in time.
yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I say is thank you a lot for sharing this link. It will be
No,
for sure useful.
no problem. But of course, don't break your head. Yes.
Yeah. 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 I will be really in need of not doing this time.
Don't forget it's summertime for you, and we have to also enjoy some nature.
Oh yeah. 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 It would be quite useful. Uh, now, unfortunately, I need to go because I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
some plans right now. So I should say many thanks to you
no
that you had
problem.
the time to connect. And about the next meeting, it could be on the 3rd of June. Do you have
Yes.
any? It's okay for you?
Yeah, it's okay. Yes. Yes. Also, I on Tuesdays I will try to be at home, so it will be easier for
Perfect.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect, perfect.
I will be home working until September on
Even,
Tuesdays.
yes, even better.
Yeah.
So,
So
thank you very much, and see you in 2 weeks.
see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.